Incredible. Well, to a much calmer environment now, and Wendy's in an Australian garden at the British Museum, and it looks lovely.
It's absolutely glorious, it has to be said. And you don't have to traipse thousands of miles across an arid desert to try and find an interesting Australian tree, because they're all here outside the British Museum. We've got gorgeous ferns, we've got plants that cope with the very dry conditions, drier than even we have at the moment. This is called a wattle, and they're the ones that rely on bushfires to germinate. The tree here called the Wonga Wonga, which is frankly the best name of a tree ever. And there are daisies and flowers that will make bees go weak at the knees. You might be able to see these ones, you might have heard of these. These are tea trees, and we use them for pimples, of course, but the very soft, thin bark is used by the indigenous people to make blankets for their babies. And since 90% of Australia's plants can only be found on that continent, this here at the British Museum, I have to say, is an absolute treat. Now, surprisingly enough, the temperature in London today, almost the same as those of the Red Centre in Australia. 26 degrees Celsius in the centre of town today, 28 degrees at Alice Springs. But of course, it must be said, it is autumn there. So as we go through the day tomorrow, it will be another warm and sunny one. And what I'm really enjoying at the moment are these lovely balmy evenings. You don't feel like you really need a coat until a good couple of hours into darkness. But as we go through the night under clear skies, we may have one or two mist patches developing, some hazy cloud overhead as we've seen throughout this afternoon. And then into the early hours of the morning, we'll get our lows of between 9 and 12 degrees Celsius. So tomorrow we start with yet more blue sky. That continues throughout the afternoon as well. Perhaps a little bit of cloud bubbling up once again, and easterly winds making it feel a touch fresher towards the coast, but still 21, 22 degrees there and 26 degrees inland. And if you're worried that it won't last for the Easter weekend, well, you needn't. It still looks like it's going to be warmer than average, so I reckon it's time for a Barbie, Riz. What say you?
Oh, I say yes. Wendy, thanks very much. An offer I can't refuse. Thanks a lot.